Hello, BookTube, and welcome at long last to Garbaugust 2023. This is the second year of one of BookTube's greatest events. It was created by Olly at Olly, and it is designed to celebrate trash, to celebrate reading trash all throughout the month of August. To do so in fine, deplorable company at excessive length. I'm all for it. I'm all for Garbaugust. And before I get into my daily garbage drip of Garbaugust, I thought we would talk a little bit more about garbage itself. I get Jesuitical like this when I do events like this. Sorry, I love it myself. I love thinking about these kinds of things. Of course, garbage, like everything else, comes in many kinds. It's not just a one-size-fits-all. It's not just one dumpster in which you can throw everything. There are all kinds of trash. And I think it would be fair to say that for Garbaugust, we are celebrating only a couple of kinds of trash. And we're going to studiously avoid other kinds of trash. Mainly because Garbaugust is above all about fun. This is an event designed to underscore that reading is for fun. Now, I'm not meaning to say that the only way you can have fun when you read is garbage. I don't think any of my co-hosts are willing to say that either. There are all kinds of ways to have fun in reading, but the point is that there's no other reason to read as an adult out of school. That reading for fun should be the only reason that you read. You should be enjoying what you read. Dutiful reading is for schmoes, it's for students, and it's for dude bros who feel like they have to suffer through something in order to make themselves better, because good times make strong men, and strong men make good times, and good times make weak men, and weak men make tofu, or I don't remember how the fascist saying goes, but so I was thinking about the different kinds of garbage that are out there. I was thinking about it mainly because, although it's unspoken, we all sort of just communally agree for Garbaugust that there will be some things that we just won't talk about. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings for Garbaugust. Nobody wants to bother anybody about what they like or don't like. I already made a video on 3 trashy thoughts that I wanted to stress to you. Number 1, the fact that you like something, the fact that you enjoy it, does not automatically mean it's not trash. You are perfectly capable of enjoying something that is not trash. Number 2, it's not all subjective. Okay, it's a very common response to number 1 to say number 2, which is that it's all subjective. Who can tell what's trash and what's not? There isn't really any such thing as trash. It's all subjective. That is not true. That's self-evidently not true. I think everybody knows that on some level. And thing number 3 flows from that, which is that you don't need to go to that defense, because there's nothing wrong with liking trash. There's nothing wrong with liking something that's garbage. I was thinking about those thoughts, and I was applying them to the kinds of trash that are out there. I thought for my first Garbaugust video for 2023, I might give you a quadratic equation for trash. We might go into the mechanics of what I mean. I broke it down as simply as I could. One might even say Manichaean simplicity. I think there's good trash and bad trash. 2 huge splits there. There's good trash and there's bad trash. But even that has subdivisions. I think that good trash has 2 subdivisions, good trash and bad good trash, and that bad trash has 2 subdivisions, good bad trash and bad trash. And I think it's safe to say that at Garbaugust, we are only really dealing with good trash. Whether it's good trash or bad good trash. I made a graph. Because this is what you do when you're part of Garbaugust. You make a graph. I made a graph with the 4 quadrants involved and slime dripping at the bottom. So let's go over this, shall we? We'll go counterclockwise. So let's talk about good trash. Good trash is effectively done. In other words, it's not boring, it's not wooden, you're pulled right into the story, you want to keep reading. Just in terms of page by page, paragraph by paragraph writing construction, it is well done. It is effectively done. It's not dumb in a way that pulls you right out of it, whether you want to enjoy the giant slugs or not. Surely we can agree that if a book is so bad that you can't even wallow in the trashy elements, then it has failed. So good trash isn't that. It's effectively done. It's written with brio. with what Roy Reads Anything described as love. It's written with love. And it's aware of itself. It's self-aware. It knows what it is. It knows that it's trash. And this last one might be a little dodgy. It's virtuous. Or at the very least, it's innocent. It only wants to entertain you in a way that is really not worth your time. It really wants you to just waste time. And it's going hard at that. It's giving its best shot at making you want to do that. And as an example of good trash, I'm of course nominating Steve Alten's novel Meg, about a giant albino killer shark from the Marianas Trench that comes up to the surface. Even if you haven't read Meg or heard any of my infinite mentions of it on this channel, you are by now aware of there was a movie and there is a sequel. A giant megalodon shark, so something 5 times as big as a great white shark, that comes to the surface and suddenly has a heyday on the surface instead of instantly dying, which it of course would. It doesn't matter. Meg is a wonderfully nonsense book. It is a symphony of trash. Every single cliche, every single predictable element of a plot, every single just bit of goofy cheese is in there. It's all crammed into that book. So that's going to be my example of good trash. But there's also bad good trash. And this is a little trickier. And this is... these are both under the heading of good trash. There's good trash, and there's bad good trash. And for Garbaugust, we are mostly dealing with just good trash. Not good trash, but good trash. So good trash, good trash, or good bad trash. And good bad trash, bad good trash, is still effective. It's still well done. But it's... well, the word I used in my trashometrics graph here is deplorable. It has elements that cannot be ignored. The books themselves can be liked by good people. Often are liked by millions of good people. But the books have horrible elements to them. And there's no way to get around that. The reason that you would want to get around it is because they are well done. They are good, bad trash. And the example that came to mind here, the biggest example of them all, I think, is Gone with the Wind. There are 3 generations of readers now who will attest that Gone with the Wind, the novel, has an amazing, spellbinding narrative energy to it. Its storytelling is incredibly effective. It has swept up mothers and daughters, granddaughters, in its story. I acknowledge that. I've read Gone with the Wind a couple of times, and I think it's easy to see. It's easy to see why the agents that saw it in New York originally jumped at it. It's easy to see why hundreds of millions of copies of this book have been sold. But Gone with the Wind is deplorable as a book. It's incredibly racist. Even if you are a fan of Gone with the Wind, and again, in the category of bad, good, trash, good people can be fans of these books, whether it's Gone with the Wind or Hanta Yo or Mandingo. It doesn't matter. If the book has energy and genuine effectiveness to it, so that you are willing to read it and enjoy it as good, bad trash, even though it has deplorable elements, well, that doesn't make you a bad person. You don't have to be a racist to enjoy Gone with the Wind, but I don't think there are many people who read Gone with the Wind in 2023 who wouldn't say that it is incredibly racist, and it's not the characters. It's Margaret Mitchell. It's the author. The book, the narration of the book, is incredibly racist. I'm not saying this means that we don't read it, although I think that day is coming. I don't. It will either, in the incredibly polarized future that we have right on our doorstep, it will either be mandatory reading in the American South, or it will be forbidden reading anywhere in the country. Both of those are perversions. It should just be up to you. If you're reading Gone with the Wind, I don't believe you will be able to ignore the deplorable elements of it, the elements of it that are garbage of a non-trivial nature, garbage of a serious nature. But you'll keep reading. Almost certainly you'll keep reading, because there is a magic there, and the magic, I believe, is irrespective of the deplorable parts. The storytelling there is real. The storytelling genius is real. It's a quandary that Gone with the Wind readers just have to grapple with each on their own. I've been very happy to see that, once again, I have fallen in with the right kind of crowd on BookTube, because I've watched a lot of BookTubers grapple with this very thing, and usually never just simplistically say, well, if it's got this word or this phrase in it, then I don't want to read it, and I'm going to comment on it if I see it on your shelf when you invite me over for dinner. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to make you feel bad about it too, because I'd like to have it burned. Generally on BookTube, at least in the channels that I watch, I don't usually see that reaction, and that's good, because it's a complicated quandary to have something be good, bad, trash. But then we move to the next quadrant, and this is under bad trash. So we've done the two under good trash. There's good trash, and bad, good trash. Then we move to bad trash, which we are not dealing with for Garbaugust, at least not intentionally. Someone might wander in here because opinions differ, but you're not doing it intentionally. It's just not the fun part of trash. And good bad trash is it's the thing that causes the most arguments in my life. It's ineptly done, but not in a childishly dumb way. You have to see it. You have to read it carefully to see how poorly it's done. It's poorly plotted. The characters are dumb. There's no resolution. The prose is usually awful, usually ostentatiously so. It doesn't, in other words, deserve the accolades that it has nevertheless managed to accrue. When we're talking about good, bad trash, we're talking about books that have a critical reputation. They have more or less entered the canon. They have been praised by people who ought to know better. But when you look at them under a forensic microscope, they fall apart. They're horrible. They're horribly done. Usually not, the bad elements are usually not bad elements in the sense of the bad, good trash. The bad elements are usually not that bad. They usually aren't deplorable on their own. But the mechanical elements of the book, the aesthetic elements of the book, they're awful. There are many examples that we can come up with here. The point is that the examples that I use on this channel are William Faulkner and Cormac McCarthy. And the point is that people can differ. On the category of good, bad trash, people can differ. And those differences have been going on forever. There are people who will tell you, some of them in the context of Garbaugust, that there's plenty of trash in the life's work of William Shakespeare, for instance. There are plenty of people who could look even further back than that and say that, we have, a dozen plays by Euripides and some of them are trash. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about here, where you are making a qualitative assessment of a work that will ride in the face of its critical reception. And Lord knows I can do that. I have, you could argue, made a career out of dissecting good, bad trash. But I'm not going to do it for Garbaugust, and no one else is either. Because some people care passionately about these things. Some people love William Faulkner. Some people love Cormac McCarthy. And Garbaugust, we all know that. This is a fun event. We don't want to be tilting at other people's favorite books. We don't want to be hauling out, Buddenbrooks is terrible. Okay, so we're just going to avoid that. I don't think in our Voxer conversations or in any Garbaugust videos that I saw last year or this year, I don't think I've ever seen much of that come up. People are avoiding it, and I'm avoiding it myself, even though I do it the rest of the time. I'm avoiding it myself because there's plenty of good trash to wallow in for Garbaugust. And then, of course, under the heading of bad trash, there's bad trash, which is something that no one is even talking about on Garbaugust or on BookTube ever. And that is where not only is the execution poor, this is ineptly done, it's boring, it's wooden, but also the book is poisonous. The book is written to be evil, to push an evil agenda, to contain evil. There's plenty of stuff out there like that. I encounter probably more of it than the rest of you do because I'm often asked to review it. But this is the example that it came to mind is the Turner Diaries. It doesn't have to be the Turner Diaries. You know the books that I'm talking about. They're hateful. They're bigoted. Yes, there's racism in Gone with the Wind, but to call Gone with the Wind merely a racist book would be self-evidently unjust. You would not be dealing with more than one aspect of the book. Whereas with bad trash, that's entirely possible. In fact, it's morally incumbent on you to call such books by what they are. and not to treat them seriously, and not to go, you know, gold panning through them for maybe one moment or one bit of dialogue that might be good. No. Bad Trash announces itself. The Turner Diaries makes no bones about what it is. And not only can you judge the book completely and say, this is poisonous, hateful garbage, but unlike good bad trash, with bad trash, you can also judge the readers. You can say, all right, well, if this is on your shelf and you like it, you're an evil person. If you've read it and it's on your shelf and you like it, then I don't really want to know you, because there's no way that you could read this without being repulsed. There is trash like that out there. There is bad trash out there, but we're not going to be dealing with that for Garbaugust. I would argue that for Garbaugust, we're mostly concerned with good trash. We're mostly concerned with books that are innocent and are in on their own joke, although it's perfectly okay for good trash. It's not necessary. So, there's plenty of good trash that doesn't know that it's trash. The author just doesn't know. They're blissfully unaware. But it's fun and effective. It works on you. It's addictive to read. I would argue that for our trashonomics, for Garbaugust, we are mostly dealing with good trash. That upper quadrant. Maybe some bad good trash might work its way in. It's hard to avoid some bad good trash because of how prevalent themes of sexism are, for instance. You're going to be reading trash, you're going to be enjoying the aspects of it that are enjoyable, but you're going to be encountering that left, right, and center, or the casual racism of, for instance, something like the Fu Manchu novels. You might encounter that. Good bad trash, I think we're avoiding completely for Garbaugust. No one wants to challenge anyone by saying, well, I thought Moby Dick was terrible. And that's not really what this event is for. That's a serious debate in which you, if you say that, will be seriously wrong. And then there's bad trash, which we are not involved with at all. It is still trash, but it's totally antithetical to the spirit of Garbaugust. No, I think we're mostly concerned with good trash. Either the kind that has questions to it or the kind that absolutely does not. That's about packs of giant killer cockroaches, that sort of thing. So I thought we would go through the quadratic equation of trash before we move on to our daily submersions in trash, to the daily trash pickup that is coming. Because I've been pre-reading a lot of trash. I can't wait to see what videos crop up for the course of the month. But these are the quadrants that I think I see. Good and bad trash, and then good trash, bad good trash, good bad trash, and bad trash. And we're mainly consigning ourselves to a couple of those quadrants for the month of August, just so that we don't make enemies where we're trying to have fun. So that is the blueprint of my game plan for the month of August. I will be back next time with my first trash read of the month. We'll see you then. Thank you, BookTube.